Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As many are probably aware, I'm a little bit critical of many of the things associated with all of, quite frankly, the public health hysteria that seems to have overtaken the overall travel process. Got real issues on it from both a legal as well as just on a basic, lack of a better term, kind of human rights standpoint. As I talked about in another video recently, the notion that just mere illness is enough to almost, deprive one of all their due process rights. It's beyond a criminal offense in a way. Certain people being ill under certain circumstances. It's as if they have no rights. There is no legality. There is no law. Oh, we deem you ill, therefore, we can do with you however we deem fit, basically. I mean, that kind of seems to be the refrain of the day. The reason for this video, a little more down to earth, or not down to earth, but a little more to the point here in Thailand, as it pertains directly to Thailand, involves issues, and we've talked about this, involving testing of people arriving in Thailand. And I haven't made that big of a deal out of this because, quite frankly, we made a lot of good progress. Just going back 2 months ago here in Thailand, we were not fully open. The restrictions on getting into the country were cumbersome, to say the least. We made a lot of good progress. Of that, there is no doubt, and I'm glad to see it. But the reason I thought of making this video is I was reading an article in the Pattaya Mail, that's pattayamail.com. Article is titled, "Prior Holiday Visas to Visit Thailand Are Becoming Redundant." And there's a lot going on in this article. I urge those who are watching this video, go check it out. But I'm just quoting this relatively small excerpt, quoting directly. Thai authorities seem determined right now to ease entry for foreigners. Pre-flight and online registration, anti-COVID insurance, and even the TM6 address card have all been suspended. And this is me talking, yeah, that's great. And again, that's that momentum. We're moving in a positive direction. I can't complain about any of that. That's great to hear. Quoting directly, arriving passengers no longer have to fill in any forms, although Ministry of Health officials may conduct random health checks on anyone looking ill. Really? Anyone looking ill? What does that mean? Look, I get it that we've had these health and safety, whatever you want to call them, protocols in place for years now. I mean, literally years now. It's going back to March of 2020 since we've had this stuff imposed. Is this to be permanent? Because I don't think it should be. Just looking ill, in my opinion, and there is this weird level of almost, again, I don't really have another word for it other than hysteria, where people are almost just freaked out by people who just look a little under the weather. And look, it's the human condition. People get sick. People get ill. So now if you're ill, somebody's just gonna randomly walk up to you and say, you have to take this test. And if we determine by our test, whatever that means, whatever test they determine is necessary under those circumstances, that you are indeed ill, and if you don't come with us, we're going to tackle you and drag you away. I mean, really, let's really sit down, think this through, and maybe just stop. Maybe it's time to stop. In fact, I would go out so far on a limb as to say, look, this started in March of 2020. All of these restrictions, all of this stuff, I haven't been able to find anybody who can appreciably point anything to me that it's done anything, that can show me any appreciable data that it's had any massive positive impact. It's kind of one of those proving a negative kind of issues. And then here we are, we're supposedly kind of beyond this, and we're still randomly testing people who look ill. So my point being, I guess my point's fairly clear, but look, let's just get reopened. Let's get beyond. Let's truly put this behind us. Randomly testing people. And again, it's really not random if it's anyone looking ill. Random tests would just be, every third person, we just pick you out of the line, which I'd have a huge problem with that too. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, what is defined as looking ill? And when was the state or any authority ever empowered to detain people and force them to take tests of a medical nature just on that basis?